Hi everyone, it's Will with the Grand Duke Dmitri Diary series. I took a day off yesterday. The views were the previous video was quite a slow starter, and so I figured I'd wait a bit and see what happened. Maybe Sundays are not the best days to post videos. I don't know. I thought it was quite an interesting diary entry, but anyway, that was the 19th March. And just to recap, Dmitri had a visit from a man named Lyovshin, who had a plan to organize some kind of secret society and save Russia. Dmitri just kind of gave that one an eye roll, summing it up. And then he went off with Coco on a road trip to Rouen in the new Rolls-Royce with the convertible, and they stayed apparently at a second-rate hotel, but the rooms were nice and they enjoyed it. Okay, the cast today, we have some old friends from the Russian aristocracy. If you're immersed in Imperial Russia, then you will surely recognize these surnames: Shuvalov, Vyazemsky, or in this instance a woman, so Vyazemskaya, and finally Sheremetyev. Okay, so we're up to the 20th of March, 1921. It's a Sunday in Paris, at 76 Rue Miromesnil, as Dmitri is writing this. We left Rouen around 11 o'clock. It was very cold in the morning, but clear. We took a different route and had lunch in a little town on the main Danville Road. It was pouring down rain in the afternoon, so we had to put the top up, and it became very difficult to see the road. I got home around 6 o'clock after having tea with Coco at the Ritz. I dined at Maria's. Naturally, my face was terribly burnt from the wind, rain, and sun. I stopped by the Ritz for a minute because I wanted to see Coco, and a lot of people thought I was drunk because of how red my face was. That evening, I went to the Shuvalovs. They were having a few people over, and it was very nice. Princess Vyazemskaya, who's the daughter of Dmitri Sheremetyev, sang for us. She was excellent. Overall, we sat around for quite a long time, and it was great. So a nice evening. I get the impression that he would have preferred to spend it with Coco, but this was a nice alternative. Okay, I'm assuming that he drove back from Rouen, though certainly I can't confirm that. I should say that he was the one driving rather than Coco or a driver. And they stopped in this little restaurant on the Danville Road, and that would make if I decide to include it, that will make a great scene in the novel. This Rolls-Royce pulling up into this little restaurant, and Russian Grand Duke and Coco Chanel coming out, although who knows if the people knew necessarily right away who they were. I doubt they would have known who Dmitri was, but especially given the state that his face was apparently in. But, you know, I wonder if Coco's face was something known in France at that time. So, yeah, who knows? Okay, and Dmitri was enough of a habitué at the Ritz when they got back, and when he went later that evening to try to see Coco, he may not have been a person well known at little country restaurants, but he was certainly well known at the Ritz, and so people knew it was him, and they made this assumption that he was drunk, just apparently on the basis of the fact that his face was so red. I don't know. I don't know that necessarily myself or any of the people I know if their faces turn red when they get drunk, but I know it does happen with some people. Okay, and poor old Dmitri, he's just not happy being away from Coco for very long at this point. But you know, he goes off to the Shuvalovs, who are having a few people over, as he puts it. So the Shuvalovs, yes, they're not prominent in the diaries compared to some of the other aristocratic Russian families. I'm not sure why. Maybe they didn't end up settling in Paris, and they hadn't been in London when Dmitri was there. I don't know, but clearly they were friends. And yeah, so unfortunately I can't provide you with first names or patronymics. Princess Vyazemskaya, who is such a good singer, because trust me, Dmitri would have said something snide if she hadn't been good when she entertained them with her singing. So Elizaveta Dmitrievna Vyazemskaya, she was younger than Dmitri, not by much, a couple of years, and the poor thing, her husband, she was a widower. She was a widow in her 20s. Her husband had been killed very early on in the revolution, out in the countryside on his country estate in 1917. He was killed by peasants. And so she, of course, happily managed not to be killed and to get out of the country. She was the daughter of Count Dmitri Sergeyevich Sheremetyev, who was a man in his 50s at that time, and he too managed to get out. He had been not only a member of Nicholas II's suite, but an actual friend of Nicholas's, a childhood friend, no less. And he'd been someone very much in the circle of people that Dmitri knew in Imperial Russia. He was mentioned in a 1908 letter by Dmitri, in a letter that he wrote to his sister. I can't remember what the specific reference was. And he's mentioned in the diaries as late as 1928. So, yeah, Dmitri knew him well. He wasn't present at this get-together, but his daughter was. And, yeah, that's about it. Excuse me. It's pretty much all fairly self-explanatory. So what do we have next time? Well, I am going to divide the diary entry of the 21st into two parts, because it's such an eventful day. It's the day before Dmitri and Coco leave for the south of France, and the first half of the day, Dmitri is going to have more supplicants, I guess you could call them that, people that come to him because they want to talk to him about politics. They want him to get involved in a business or in a political organization. So he's going to have those not only coming in the morning when he received guests at his flat, but also he's going to make a special trip to Mamichka's to see one of them. Yeah, and then he will be spending some time with Coco, not alone, but with one of his woman friends. How to put that? They weren't an item, but you know her, May Dubasova. She was a good friend of his, and the three of them are going to get together, so that will be interesting. And then the second half of that day, the evening, something really unexpected. Some royal cousins who happen to be in Paris are going to turn up, and Dmitri is going to spend time with them. So you'll want to come back, I think, for both of those, and I hope to see you then. Bye.